confession to make. This isn't actually a TED Talk. Calm down, calm down. This is my application for the Harold Ramis Film School. I want to talk to you guys about why I'm a good person in life and why I'm good for this program. So let's dive right in. My love for storytelling and creativity started at a young age. Exhibit A. This is a story I drew from first grade. Then let's skip to college, because there's nothing of importance in between. College is where I started to learn about my love for writing and using humor to create well-rounded characters and stories that I really liked. It's also where I got to meet President Obama. Exhibit B. That's me in the red dress. Unfortunately, it's a time that I feel very bad for because it coincides with those 3 months that I was trying out bangs. And that's bad. It's also in college where I discovered I was a raging homosexual, and thus began my journey to find media that represented queer people in a non-stereotypical way. Unfortunately, here's the stark reality. Death. So much gay death. Here's a graph depicting my findings. I know, it's pretty tough. But what I noticed is that people were just writing gay and queer characters to fill quota, or with sloppy storylines, or even when they started to get good and they made sense, they were killed off. And that's just sad. So I want to challenge that. Also, I deal with depression and anxiety. And I really appreciate it when movies and shows break the stigma of mental illness and not just use these characters as plot points in a predictive manner. I want to shed a positive light on mental illness. I've also been on the production sidelines already. I worked for a television show here in Chicago for this guy. I was an associate producer for the Judge Mathis show for about 3 years. I even won a daytime Emmy. But then eventually I started to outgrow the job because I realized I wanted to live my life more creatively and I wanted to align them with my values of creativity, authenticity, vulnerability, empathy, connection, and humor. I believe that Harold Ramis Film School will get me closer to these values. Now let's talk about the program itself. Harold Ramis Film School excites me because on a molecular level, it just feels right. I'm currently in my 25th year and I have absolutely no idea what's the whole point of this and why we're here on Earth. I think it's probably connection, but I'm still trying to flush that out. Anyways, a couple months ago, I was talking to a friend and we were talking about this conversation, and she actually taught me about quantum physics, which seems kind of weird for that conversation, but hear me out. She was telling me that quantum physics is basically when your cells on a molecular level are swayed one way or another based on where we belong, based on where we're supposed to go. So it's basically like God, but with science. And let me tell you, deep in my bones and in my cells, this program just feels right. Here's a short video depicting this idea. Here are the other things that excite me about the Harold Ramis Film School program. Learning more about directing, contributing to the growing national student debt crisis, honing in my writing craft, working with other people towards a common goal, bragging to my friends, getting to use humor to cope, helping me figure out parts of my identity, a distraction from the horrible state of our world, growth, and the course list. Now let's talk about long-term goals and what they are for me. My long-term goals, first and foremost, no gay death. I want to create something that no one who's queer dies. I want to break stigmas of mental illness. We deserve to have our stories told too, in a non-stereotypical way. I want to create well-rounded characters. I want to cultivate empathy. I want to use humor to connect people, work in a diverse place, learn more about directing and inspire others, help project other less privileged voices, and tell really fucking good stories. Thank you all for coming to my not TED Talk. My name is Abby Keller, and thank you for considering me for the Harold Ramis Film School. Mom, can you come pick me up? I'm not having a good time.